So, now that we're 3 for 3 in breaking all of the artifacts that are going to be used to defeat Malpercio and forcing us to resort to just good old-fashioned brute force, we should probably go check in with the gang, see how everybody's doing upstairs.
Like, hey guys, do you have any, like, really tough soldiers to spare? No reason. Also, do you have a plan?
So you guys have, maybe know about a 4th secret magical artifact that might stop Malpercio?
No? Nothing? Ah, well. Turns out you can't just roll up and kill God, even if you did climb a tower beforehand. Yeah, okay, we'll get on that. Do you have any idea how?
I like that we are conveniently not mentioning the bit where Callus was able to free himself from the darkness through an extraordinary display of will after nearly getting killed with the sacred artifact that destroys Malpercio.
It's a great time.
Yeah, we won't mention that part to Duke Calvert. It'll be fine.
Anyway, any of you got anything? Like, you know, just throw them out there. Have a brainstorm. No stupid ideas. Everything is up for grabs.
Duke Calibran! Are you alright?
I'm fine now. I certainly don't want to stay in bed while others are out fighting a good fight. How did it go?
Well,
Well...
I see we're in agreement.
I mean, we did technically win.
So even the ancient wizard's descendants are unable to stop the
Technically.
What should we do then? Sooner or later, the enemy will wear down our defenses unless we take some sort of action.
They can't do that. That's illegal. We won.
Now they only seem to be launching small and sporadic attacks on our towns and villages.
It's as if they're toying with us, whittling down our strength.
I say we should give them all we got. Full throttle. Invade Core Hydric Castle and wipe out Malpercio while we still have enough manpower.
I mean, I've heard stupider ideas,
Throw away your life like
even
that.
from Callus.
But I doubt we could invade the castle with our current capabilities.
I know, right? It's the
Maybe
last thing
you're
they'd be
right.
expecting.
But still,
So you're saying that even though it's a shot in the dark, it's all we've got going for us?
Yeah, pretty much that, actually.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
if we give
See?
it a shot, it just might work.
You'll never make it into Core Hydra Castle.
Cadell!
Sound effects are a nice touch.
Your Majesty, it's been a while.
Why is she a chicken?
So glad
Like,
you're
what?
in good
Why?
spirits.
Like, is she actually a chicken? Or is that just like a chicken suit?
Why don't you think we can make it into Core Hydra?
They have raised a powerful
Maybe it
shield
strikes
around
fear
us.
into the heart of our
There's no
enemies.
way we could penetrate their defenses.
A shield?
Maybe it's like the chicken hat in Metal Gear Solid.
Trying to force your way in is useless. We can't afford to sacrifice lives in that manner.
Uh-huh. A simple-minded, happy-go-lucky guy who uses brute force to solve everything is a major turn-off to girls. That's enough.
Right. Priorities are in order here.
This meeting is adjourned. In time, with the children of the Earth helping us, we should be able to come up with a viable plan.
I wasn't aware this meeting was being chaired.
You all must be very tired.
Take a well-deserved rest.
Well, okay, we'll come up with a plan tomorrow.
Callus, I got this for you. We went to Sadal Sud for a report. Someone told me to give this to you.
A letter? For me?
There's something I need to talk to you about. I'll be waiting for you in Sebelrai village.
Larikush? The dog, back in Sebelrai. Could he really have been working for the Empire with Gramps? Something to talk to me about? What could it be?
Huh?
Oh, that's a plot
What
thread,
is
I
it?
guess.
Nothing.
I will
Thanks,
grant that I
Captain.
had completely forgotten about that guy.
No problem.
Ah, but it turns out that he's the one that has all the power, the plan, or something. I don't know.
Will you do me a favor? I need to go to Sebelrai to see Larikush. If he really did work with Gramps.
So obviously, what we're going to do is we're going to drop everything and immediately go do this.
So I don't plan on getting Shella and the others involved.
Look, I know a loyalty mission when I see one.
I knew you'd say that. Thanks. Let's go.
Yeah, let's just go immediately and just walk into the airship and take it. I'm sure it'll be fine. No one will question that. Also, I'm definitely sure that absolutely no one would be vaguely sympathetic if we told them that, you know, we had some stuff to get in order. As I'm sure we're about to find out.
Once again, I like to imagine that they were all standing on the door, like, eavesdropping, and, like, just waiting for him to get far enough away that they could do a dramatic entrance.
It must be about Gramps.
I can respect that.
I'm curious as to what the famed engineer Dr. Georg was working on for the Empire.
You could get in bad trouble. The great Mizuki should watch over you.
It's really none of my business what you've got to do, but going at it alone is out of the question.
I don't know what to say.
Say, let's go.
I'm very suspicious of the whole notion of friendship. It just kind of rubs me the wrong way, you know?
Anyway, we've, now that we're finished with the Children of the Earth, we have a little more freedom. Pretty much kind of get turned loose up in the sky to go do whatever we deem appropriate. So we'll take a minute, we'll get caught up on a couple of old side quests we've had lying around.
Right, I know how this part of the game works. This is just where they just open the side quest hose. They unlock like 1,000,001 things. Like, the worst thing that you could do right now is to go along with the textual urgency of the plot and be like, oh, we gotta immediately deal with the existential threat. No. Fuck that, we gotta go do everyone's homework. We gotta round out that family tree.
Oh, we are absolutely not rounding out that family tree. Fuck that thing.
Well, I mean, we gotta go with it at least. Oh hell yeah, this smells like another trading quest. Absolutely the most semantically appropriate thing to be layering on at this point.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure it's just a card, but like, it's one of those weird cards that, like, if you use it after like one of the auras or whatever, then it gets you, like, it upgrades it or some shit like that. I don't know. Most of these cards are useless outside of some very, very specific combos. Anyway, hey, remember how Mayfie's grandmother needed celestial flowers, like, way the fuck back when?
Honestly, no.
Okay, well, she does.
And this wasn't possible before?
Well, no, it wasn't possible because it takes a long fucking time for those seeds to turn into flowers. I've been carting one around literally since we first came to Anue.
Ah, right, yes, the legendary real-time card evolution that I've heard so much about. I can't even be mad at that.
And in exchange for all that trouble, we got a full heal at camp.
Hooray! That definitely seems, you know, worthwhile and proportionate.
Anyway, we could talk to the children, but the children have nothing to add here. Instead, we're going to talk to this guy, and he's going to set up our own personal museum.
Uh-huh.
See, as you can see, there is literally nothing of value in this room, so we have to provide some.
Yeah, not a single thing of any value or any interest. Like, there aren't even any, like, empty plimps in here. Like, what's even supposed to be the theory here?
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Let's just give this guy some random shit that we just happen to have lying around.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is this just gonna be like a thing where we just hand him random cards and he just gets the thing out of the card and puts it on display? Is this basically the pictograph thing from Wind Waker?
This is 100% what we're about to do.
Yeah, cool, excellent.
Now, there are 4 specific things that he wants.
Uh-huh.
And if you give them to him, you get, I think it's I want to say it's a constellation if you give him all 4 of them.
Is there any, like, indication of what these things are?
Not in the slightest. You put a thing up there, and then if he likes it, he's like, yeah, this is cool, or, you know, or whatever.
So you just exhaustively put things on the stand and wait for him to express literally any interest in 4 things?
Yes.
Game design.
Anyway, we're gonna take this poly whale and shove it in our pants.
Yeah, let's just take that. You belong to us now. I got nothing.
Anyway, we're not gonna, like, do anything sensible with these animals. We're just gonna leave them all in the room with her.
We're just gonna dump them here. This is extremely fine. Also, did that whale thing, like, halve in size compared to when we got it? I feel like there's some scale mishaps going on here. I don't know, I hope, but I don't expect, but I hope that this quest is just going to backfire and that house is just going to get trashed and we're just going to be like, well, what the hell did you think was going to happen? Also, I continue to be very disappointed that we're not just absorbing these things into cards, we're just actually picking them up bodily and carrying them around in our inventories. Sure, whatever.
That's right. We are gonna raise this duck up to be happy and healthy.
We're going to love it unconditionally. And that one, and the other one.
I'm sure this is private business. We'll be waiting out here.
Thanks. It shouldn't take long.
Oh, now they all back out. Well, sure, but if you hear any sounds of violence, don't be scarce.
Ah, you've come. Welcome. I've been waiting for you, Callus. Things must have been pretty awful for you, but I'm glad to see you're in good health.
Thanks, Doc. Long time no see. I got your letter, so you have something to tell me? Were you really working with Gramps and for the Empire?
Now then, where should I start? From the very beginning, I suppose, with the experiment we were working on. It's been almost 20 years since... I hear you've been to the Empire, so you probably heard about us. Georg and I were born in a small desert village. We were recruited by the Empire around 20 years ago and began working on military research. Under Emperor Geldablame's orders, we were supposed to design new weaponry, battleships, and iron beetles. But there was also another project we were assigned to, one that was kept strictly confidential.
Evil God studies.
The secret of the madness.
I mean, you're not wrong. As it turns out, Gramps and Larikush were literally trying to figure out how to make the Magnus work.
It consists of encoding and storing the essence of matter, and decoding it later on to restore the material to its original form. Yet, it was said to be impossible to encode a living creature into a Magnus. Since quite some time ago, this type of research has been strictly prohibited.
For obvious reasons.
Acid into a Magnus would end up distorted and defective when later invoked. But Georg had succeeded. He was a true genius.
So yeah, this sounds fine.
At first, we planned to make use of the power sealed deep within the lava caves. It turned out to be one of the sealed End Magnus. Giacomo, Amy, and Falon were the results of those initial experiments. That's why all three have extraordinary powers.
So Giacomo and his goons had gotten some power from the End Magnus.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they told us that, actually.
But with the End Magnus sealed away, that was the best we could do. So we took it to another level.
Anyway, I feel like this has implications for us.
You know what I'm talking about? Can't you remember? This is about you and your brother, Fee. Callus. Georg created you, artificially.
Right, yeah, see?
Over the years, we conducted numerous experiments under close watch of the Empire. But even Georg couldn't succeed in encoding a living creature. Something very important, not found as a mere object, would be lost when a creature was encoded, and would be missing when the creature was reconstructed. It was then that Georg altered his approach yet again. Instead of encoding extracted Magna Essence, he began working on modifying an existing, working Magnus to create a living creature. Georg seemed totally engrossed in his work back then. He chose a base material and spent months modifying and improving it, slowly altering the Magnus properties. His experiment was successful. Several months later, a new life was created. You were the result, Callus.
Are you telling me that Georg? simply needed to believe in the heart of the cards?
I know this is difficult to believe.
Even better, the reason that Callus doesn't have a soul is because he never had one to begin with. Callus is basically a pumpkin that's been turned into a human.
Present in human beings, and you were born
Cool.
with just one wing.
Good times.
Gelderblame was unsatisfied with the results of that experiment. What he wanted was a pure, perfect life form. His intention was to study the madness of such a life form and to unlock the secret of eternal life. He would call this hypothetical life form the Divine Child.
The Divine Child?
Since around that time, Gelderblame became obsessed with overcoming the limitations of human beings. Georg furthered his studies based on your madness.
Ah, eugenics, is it?
Until several years later, another life was born. A child born of a true, living Magnus.
So you're trying to tell me that Fee, he was created too? But Codell, one of the witches, said she didn't feel any Magnus within me.
Your Magnus is quite different from those found in this world. Georg had drastically modified the original Magnus. Suppose you brought in a creature with blue blood instead of red and asked someone to study its blood. Many would shake their heads and say, it's not possible, as the creature has no blood at all.
No, I get what he's saying, but I feel like this specific
red liquid. A blue liquid
doesn't.
would not fit the
That's not. No.
They would need someone to.
There's a swing and a miss on the old allegory there, but sure. Why not?
Until then, they would picture the creature as being bloodless, even if the blood was right there in front of their eyes. A similar thing could be said about your Magnus.
Ah, see, you were looking for a soul, when instead you should have been looking for a pumpkin.
Maybe we're being like too figurative and Callus just literally has a bit of paper inside him.
The time he spent with you and Fee may have stirred something within him that had been dormant for a long time. Or maybe there was something about Fee that brought about these changes in him.
Not you, Callus, you're not special. Only Fee made him do these fatherly things.
12 years ago, we decided to escape from the Empire.
Tell me, Larikush, what on earth have we done? We succeeded in creating life from a Magnus. But for what purpose? Is it worth anything at all? Or did we merely open a door leading to further sorrow and despair?
See, you never considered whether or not you should. They really never learn.
We need to make a decision. After all, we're their parents. It's our responsibility to do the right thing and protect them.
Right. You're absolutely right.
What do you want to do? Follow Gelderblame's orders and continue your research?
No, we must put an end to this. Callus and Fee can no longer be victims of his vile ambitions.
I understand. There's only one thing we can do then.
Yes. Let's destroy this lab with explosives so that no records or samples can be recovered.
I like that he immediately went to explosives.
We'll feign our
It's a sign of a true
explosion
scientist.
and leave the Empire in secret. We should head for Mira.
That island is close to the dimensional boundary and periodically shifts between dimensions. Even if they find out we set up the explosion, being in Mira should buy us some time. The four of us will live in peace. You, I, Callus, and Fee.
Shh! Someone's coming.
I came to confirm tomorrow's schedule for the holomaton experiments. How is your analysis of its Magnus coming along?
No problems. It's going exactly as planned.
We need to account for fluctuations related to his growth patterns. We need more time, to be sure. I've told you this repeatedly.
So you need more time. How much? 5 more years? 10? At your current rate, it may well take forever. We need results, not excuses. The Emperor's patience has its limits. Also, you have orders to dispose of the defective sample tomorrow. It's no longer of any use to us. No need to keep it alive.
Oh, Giacomo, how could you?
Georg, don't!
Giacomo, let me ask you. This experiment we're working on, the Emperor's plans, don't they bother you at all?
Like, no?
You know, in retrospect, I'm not entirely sure why it took them 10 years to figure out that they faked their deaths.
A power no mundane human could ever hope for. Besides,
I mean,
you started all this in the first place.
I get the sense that these guys aren't that great at reading between the lines, read the science. Like, the scientists are obviously not entirely okay with this, but they're just like, no, we will have results now. We definitely understand how science works and how to motivate people.
Much to look forward to.
Like, you know? Like, does this guy seem like the paragon of reason and perceptiveness to you?
I'm just saying, it seems a little odd that they would have this conversation, and then literally that night, the lab mysteriously explodes, and their scientists are nowhere to be seen.
Emperor, the laboratory is in flames!
I feel like even Giacomo should have been able to put 2 and 2 together on that one.
Maybe it's not that deep. Maybe these guys just aren't that bright.
We managed to reach Mira under the guise of travelers. Maybe it was from the shock of the explosion. When you awoke, after escaping from the Empire, you'd lost memory of everything that had happened until then. Fee was only 3 years old, so he didn't seem to remember much either. Soon after, I left Mira and came to live here. I don't know exactly what happened to you in Mira 2 years ago. Georg and I had lived separate lives. Imagine how surprised I was when seeing you brought to this village.
Giacomo died in the Imperial capital.
Is that so?
So, I was born of a Magnus. Georg created me? I can't believe that.
I mean, it explains some things.
Take your time, boy. Let it sink in. Either way, you are yourself. That's what counts. How you were born is unimportant. It's the same for anybody. We don't choose to be born. We simply realize one day that we're here, that we exist. I have something for you. Georg asked me to give it to you, should you need it one day. This must be the time.
Gramps left me something?
Yes. Way back then.
Well, I mean, in a manner of speaking, he left you
He
something.
intended to leave something for you.
Right.
I don't know
like,
what it is, but you'll find it in a cabin up in the Celestial Alps.
I mean, what we've been left as a side quest.
I've got something for you, but you're gonna have to go to a completely different country and go to this random cabin to go find it. That sounds legit, right?
Are we literally going to be required to spend the night in a haunted house to get the bequest? Anyway, to think, all this time when we said that Callus had no soul, we weren't just being figurative.
Doctor, I need to ask you one last thing. Who gave me my name?
The Emperor, Gelderblame. Hearing you were not the perfect being he had envisioned, he called you an ill omen, a cursed premonition of things to come. He named you Callus, which means raven in a long-lost language.
I mean, I suppose, in retrospect, Gelderblame wasn't wrong in that
After we left the Empire,
judgment.
Jorg and I tried to give you a new name.
I mean, this gives us a brand to live up to.
Your name was the one thing you remembered.
I guess it was the reason for my existence. And my hatred. Something I just couldn't get rid of.
Sorry guys, I don't need anybody killed today.
Callus, are you okay?
I'm fine. Would you all come with me to the Celestial Alps?
Long
You said
story.
Gramps left me something there.
No problem. I don't know what went on in there between you and the dog, but cheer up, kid.
Yes, we have so much left to do. We need you in high spirits.
Really, they're really reading the room here.
I mean, it's more like they're reading the script.
You'll have plenty of time for reflection once it's over. Survival is priority one, right?
Thanks. All of you.
Callus!
Yeah.
It's not over yet!
Let's go, everyone.
Anyway, there's gonna be one of these fucking things for every party member, isn't there?
There absolutely is. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Which will be immediately, right?
Pretty much. But for now, we need to we're gonna go do some mountain climbing. So we'll see you next time for the Celestial Alps.
Still can't believe we have to do an entire side quest to get a bequest.